do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Welcome. Thank you for joining me for this video. At the outset, I'd like to say I'm recording this video on a whim because it's my birthday, and this is my way of, in part, starting the celebration of my birthday. And birthdays have always been very important to me from a young age, and of course they are usually for children because they want to get a bunch of gifts. But for me, I was a little bit superstitious as a child, and I'm not really sure where I picked this up, but I sort of got the idea as a child that how well and how good of a birthday I had each year would be the forecast for the year to come. And although I have dropped such superstitious nonsense from my mind, I will say that the last birthday I had was a pretty good forecast for the year, and not in a good way. So that being said, let's do a good one. Why am I recording this video other than that? Well, I wanted to share a little bit more, as I have on this channel continuously, about a little bit of Thelemic culture, and maybe get a little bit of catharsis for myself in part of it, hopefully entertain a bit, and we'll see where we go. And with that, let's get started. It may come as absolutely no surprise that many Thelemites enjoy celebrating things, everything from birth, seasons, and death. And although those things may not seem at first glance to have things in common, they do. It is life. They are all parts of life. And so the Book of the Law lists a number of these, and the deacon in the Gnostic Mass, in part, discusses them, saying, "Let the rituals be rightly performed with joy and beauty. There are rituals of the elements and feasts of the times. A feast for the first night of the prophet and his bride, a feast for the 3 days of the writing of the book of the law, a feast for Tahuti and the child of the prophet, secret, O prophet, a feast for the supreme ritual, and a feast for the equinox of the gods, a feast for fire and a feast for water, a feast for life, and a greater feast for death. A feast every day in your hearts in the joy of my rapture, a feast every night unto new, and the pleasure of uttermost delight." So you may be asking yourself, what are all those feasts about? Well, I'm not going to go through each and every one of them, but of course the feast for life, or what is sometimes referred to as the lesser feast, only because it is lesser than the greater feast of death, is one's birthday. And in a very real sense, a birthday is the start of each of our lives. Although we do have a Thelemic New Year and a vulgar New Year, the real New Year for each person is our birthday, because it's the first day we were born, and when the sun reaches that position, we have lived another year. Be that for better or worse, that's on us. But that's our birthday, is the feast for life. And today is my feast for life, and I'm going to start it off in a good way, and I'm trying. And the first thing I want to do for this is I want to read a poem. A Birthday by Sir Aleister Crowley. Full moon tonight, and 26 years since my full moon broke from angel spheres, a year of infinite love unwearying, no circling seasons, but perennial spring, a year of triumph trampling through defeat, the first made holy and the last made sweet. By this same love, a year wealth and woe, joy, poverty, health, sickness, all one glow, in the pure light that filled our firmament of supreme silence and unbarred extent, wherein one sacrament was ours, one Lord, one resurrection, one recurrent chord, one incarnation, one descending dove, all these being one, and that being love. You sent your spirit into tunes, my soul yearned in 1,000 melodies to enscroll. Its happiness I left no flower unplucked. that I might have graced your garland I induct. Tragedy, comedy, farce, fable, song, each longing a little, each little along, but each aspiring only to express your excellence and my unworthiness, nay, but my worthiness, since I was sense and spirit too in that same excellence. And thus we solve the earth's revolving riddle. I could write a verse and you could play the fiddle. While as for love, the sun went through the signs, and not a star told him how love twines a wreath for every decade, degree, minute, and second, linked eternally in the chains of flowers that never fading are, each as semi-temporal as a star. Let me go back to your last birthday. Then I was already your one man of men, appointed to complete you and fulfill from everlasting the eternal will. We lay within the flood of crimson light in mine own balcony that August night, and conjuring a rite and a verse, created yet another universe. We worked together, dance, rite, and spell, arousing heaven and constraining hell. We lived together, every hour of rest was honed from your tiger lily breast. We, oh, what lingering doubt or fear betrayed my life to fate. We parted. Was I afraid? I was afraid, afraid to live my love, afraid you played the serpent, I the dove, afraid of what I know not. I am glad of all the shame and wretchedness I had, since those 6 weeks have taught me not to doubt you, and also that I cannot live without you. Then I came back to you, black treasons rear their heads, blind hates, deaf agonies of fear, cruelty, cowardice, falsehood, broken pledges, the temple soiled with senseless sacrileges, sickness and poverty, 1,000 evils, concerted malice of 1,000,000 devils. You never swerved. Your high-pooped galleon went marvelously and majestically on, full-sailed, while every other braver bark drove on the rocks or floundered in the dark. Then Easter and the days of all delight, God's sun lit the noontide and his moon midnight, while above all, true center of our world, true source of light, our great love passion pearled, gave all its life and its splendor to the sea, above whose tide stood our stability. Then sudden and fierce, no monetary main, smote the mad mischief of the great cyclone. How far below us all its fury rolled, how vainly sulphur tries to tarnish gold. We lived together. All its malice meant nothing but freedom of a continent. It was the forest and the river that knew the fact that one and one do not make two. We worked, we walked, we slept, were at ease. We cried, we quarreled, all the rocks and trees. For 20 miles could tell how lovers played, and we could count a kiss for every glade. Worry, starvation, illness, distress, every moment was mine a happiness. Then we grew tired of being country mice, come to Paris and lived our sacrifice, there giving holy berries to the moon, July's Thanksgiving and the joys of June, and you are gone away. And how shall I make August sing the raptures of July? And you are gone away. What evil star makes you so competent and popular? How have I raised this harpy hag of hell, malice that you are wanted somewhere else? I wish you were like me, a man forbid, banned, outcast, nice society well rid, of the pair of us, then who would interfere with us? My darling, you would now be here. But no, we must fight on, win through, succeed, earn the grudging praise that never comes to meed. Lash dogs to kennel, trample snakes, put bit in the mule's mouth, that such need of it, until the world there's no such more forgiven, becomes a little possible to live in. God alone knows if battle or surrender, but the true courage either has its splendor. But since we choose the fight, God aid the right, and damn me if I fail you in the fight. God join again the ways that lie apart, and bless the love of loyal heart to heart. God keep us every hour and every thought, and bring the vessel of our love to port. These are my birthday wishes, dawn's at hand, and you're in exile in a lonely land. But what were magic if it could not give my thoughts enough vitality to live? Do not then dream this night has been a loss. All night I have hung, a god upon a cross. All night I have offered incense at the shrine. All night you have been unutterably mine. Mine are in the memory of the first wild hour, when my rough grasp tore the unwilling flower. From your closed garden mine every mood, in every tense, in every attitude, in every possibility still mine, while the sun's pomp and pageant, sign to sign, stagently proceeded mine. Not only so, in the glamour of memory, of arousal glow, of ardor, by image of my brow, stronger than sense, you are even here and now, minor, utterly mine, mine sister and mine wife, mother of my children, mistress of my life. O wild swan winged through the morning mist, the thousand kisses that we kissed, the infinite device our love devised, if by some chance its truth might be surprised. Are these all past? Are these to come? Believe me, there is no parting, there can never leave me. I have built you into my heart and brain so fast that we can never part again. Why should I sing you these fantastic psalms when all the time I have you in my arms? Why, 'tis the murmur of love that swells earth's diarrhythms of ocean's oracles. But this is dawn, my soul shall make its nest where your sighs swing from rapture into rest. Love's thurible, your tiger lily breast. Probably not exactly the poem one would expect with the title, A Birthday. Yet I chose it specifically not only because of the title, but because of what was in it. And that is not to say I'm being grim about my birthday. Quite the contrary. On that note, this is my birthday, but it is also a year ago today that I had one of the worst days, if not the worst day of my entire life. And I've had a rough life. For those that know me, they know. That being said, ever forward and never back. And I would not take away even the worst pain of my life, for that's what makes me me. But sometimes there comes a time to say goodbye to that, at least in part. And that's what I'm going to do next. In the Gnostic Mass, sometimes, when someone has a relative or someone who has passed away, the deacon will do the end collect with a special ring of a bell and add a name. And although this is not exactly the same situation, I'm essentially going to be doing the end collect modified in my own way, to say goodbye to a period of my life from a year ago. And so with that, unto the death of a life a year ago this day, and unto them from whose eyes the veil of life hath fallen, may there be granted the accomplishment of their true wills, whether they will absorption in the infinite, or to be united with their chosen and preferred, or to be in contemplation, or to be at peace, or to achieve the labor and heroism of incarnation on this planet, or another, or any star, or aught else. Unto them may there be granted the accomplishment of their wills, yea, the accomplishment of their wills. Om. 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 So mote it be. And with that, I cast aside that which I have held on to this year. And hopefully I'll get some catharsis, because one doesn't want to mix, if possible, woe with their birthday. Much like a Thelemite should, and usually does, celebrate the life of one who is past and is deceased. I celebrate the memory of what is dead and lost and gone. I don't mourn it. There is a time for pain, and there is a time for celebration. And this is my birthday. And I choose, unlike the song, to not cry. I choose to laugh. I choose to have a feast, and I'm going to have a very, very lovely day. Thank you for humoring me. And I hope that everyone has enjoyed at least something in this, or learned something in this. I did a similar video, a few of them during the 3 days of the writing of the book, The Law. They were a little more ad-lib by the fire. It was a little warmer season. So I did this in the temple. But this is definitely uncut, unraw. I mean, it's raw me, just talking. But with that, although it is my birthday, I hope everyone else has a wonderful day, wherever and again, whenever you see this. And I've also got a lot of people messaging me and telling me happy birthday, and I just wanted to say, I try, but I might not be able to say it to everyone, but thank you for all those who have. And with that, I'm going to close this out and say thank you. Be well. Love is the law. Love under will.